I don't believe that all scammers are bad people. I think that some scammers really mean well. They really want to help you, and they put together programs and offers. They're an online coach and they're charging 10, 15, $20,000, and they want you to work with them. And then you get in their programs, they're not teaching well, and then you leave saying they stole my money, they're a scammer. When in actuality, they might just be unconsciously competent, which means they are really good at the thing that they are trying to teach you. Right? They've really mastered the knowledge of how to grow on social media. They've really mastered, credit repair. They've really mastered this thing that they're trying to teach you, but they haven't mastered the art and science of teaching. They just do what they do so well. And because they do their thing so well, they can't even explain to you what you need to do in order to see the same levels of success. So because they are unconsciously competent in their content area, they can't teach you how to do it because they don't know. They're just good at it. So here are the four stages of competence. It starts with unconscious incompetence, which means I am unaware that I have no idea what I'm doing. All right. And when it comes to teaching, there are a lot of people who have the knowledge and have the information in their head, and they're saying to themselves, I got to get this information out because I want to help others. Like, I really want them to do well. But then they're on stage or they're presenting or they're on their workshops, their webinars, and they're just talking, but they're not teaching. But the worst part is they don't even realize that they're not doing a good job. They're down here in unconscious incompetence. They are not aware that they're not doing a good job of teaching. So then after I see this and I work with them and I say, listen, it might not be your marketing, it might not be your sales, it might not be your offer. Have you ever thought about the fact that it might be your ability to teach? And then once I start pointing things out to them, and I'm like, okay, cool. So, do people come to your classes or your presentations, your workshops, your webinars, and they say that was really good, but then they don't buy your offer? Or after you do an in-person presentation, there's a long line of people that want to come up and they want to take pictures with you, but they don't want to sign contracts with you. And as I start to call out some of the pain points that they're noticing, they're like, yo, that's exactly what happens to me. And now they move to a stage of conscious incompetence because now they are aware that they don't know what they're doing. They're aware that, man, if I really get better with teaching, if I master the art and science of teaching, then I can teach for transformation and people will want to work with me. I'm like, boom, there you go. If what you sell is expertise, you can't scale if you can't teach. I bet this happens to you. Your audience loves you. They tell you that you're brilliant, you're so inspiring, but your Stripe account looks like a roller coaster. Here's the secret. Applause doesn't equal income. But when you learn to teach in a way that transforms, that changes everything. That's exactly what you learn inside of the 3-day Monetize Your Expertise Accelerator. I'll help you build a system that keeps clients, creates a breakthrough, and stabilizes your income. It's super simple to sign up. The link is in the description below. I'll see you there. So now they're in the stage of conscious incompetence. They are aware that they don't know what they're doing. And as we begin working together, then I can give them power moves and strategies that they can apply to their teaching to help fortify it, make it stronger so that people can actually retain the information that they're teaching them. Right. So I teach them storytelling frameworks, or I teach them how to chunk information to be more palatable for the learners. I teach them how to create sticky statements that last even beyond the training session. Like, I teach them these things, and now they can actively apply it and put these frameworks into their teaching practices. And boom, now they're into the conscious competence stage, which means they are aware of the things that they're doing and they're doing it well. Now, they still have to think about it. They still have to say, okay, I need the reason why I need to tell a story is because I need to make it relatable. I need to make it relevant. I need people to understand what I'm talking about. Like, I need them to get it. So I'm going to tell this story. Like, they still have to be consciously think about the fact that they've got to put this in there, and they have to use the frameworks and all those things. Eventually you get to the place of unconscious competence, which means I don't even have to think about it anymore. I just do it so well. And the crazy thing is, as I'm looking at this chart and this graph on the screen, so many people are in the unconscious competence stage and they don't even realize it. Or or these would be like the people who give you tips, but they don't give you the strategies of how to do it. So they'll say things like, if you have a webinar once a week for a year, you'll never have to worry about money again. But then somebody can do a webinar once a week and you get 2 people on, 7 people on, 9 people on, 20 people on, 30 people on, 14 people on, 50 people on. And then after the end of 52 straight webinars, you're like, man, like, they told me if I had a webinar for a year, I would never think about money again. And that person is not a scammer. That person is not a liar. That person is just unconsciously competent, and they know how to teach. They may not know that they are making these moves, but they know how to teach well. So when they have a webinar every single week for a year, people come, people learn, people are transformed, people trust them, they gain traction, they see the treasure. And then you say, man, the reason why it didn't work is because they have a bigger following. No, they grew a following because they could teach. Their ability to teach is what put them in that position in a lot of the cases. But they can't teach you how to teach because they're unconsciously competent. So most effective teachers are actually in the conscious competence level when they're teaching you. Now, they may be unconsciously competent themselves, but they force themselves down into the conscious competence level so that they can teach you. Is that making sense? Master teachers, they can pinpoint the things that they're doing intentionally in order to make learning stick. So they are thinking about the thing that they're doing well. That's conscious competence. A lot of us, when it comes to teaching, are in the unconscious incompetence. I think I'm teaching, but I'm just talking. All right. But once we realize that the business skill that we need to master, if selling expertise is what we do, then we come up to the conscious incompetence. And once we start working on those skills, we become consciously competent. And once we master those skills and just do it without even thinking about it, then we are unconsciously competent. All right. So that's my goal to help you get there. And I just wanted to break that down for you. So, what I need to do is help people realize that teaching is the skill that they need. So I need to help people again that are down in the unconscious competence and help bring them up to the conscious incompetence. That being said, the way that I'll do that is through a quiz. I'm going to create a quiz that asks 10 questions. And by the end of these 10 questions, you will be aware of what your teaching style is, and then I'll show you how to make the moves in order to move it. And this is a good play. This is a good play for anybody who's selling information because watch what's going to happen here. I keep going back to this. Watch what's going to happen. Right now, let's say that the thing that we want people to understand is their teaching style. Their teaching style and how to use their teaching style to teach in a way that sticks. Okay? Well, a lot of people don't know their teaching style. A lot of people are starting here in the unconscious incompetence. They don't know their teaching style. They're right here. After taking the quiz, they will then be consciously incompetent. So now they are aware of what the teaching style is, but they don't know how to fix the areas in which they have weaknesses. Then I'm going to give some strategies that they can use. Like, even with your natural teaching style, when you match it with these things, then you will be able to grow in mastery, and then you'll be able to really articulate that information in a way that people get it. Then they are in that conscious competence phase. And eventually, after time working on it, mastering it, they'll be in that unconscious competence phase. Because the quiz, what it's going to do is going to bring that awareness, and it helps people transition from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. And then by working with you, then they go from the conscious incompetence to the conscious competence. And this is where you start seeing results. And by the time you get here, sky's the limit.